It rained all night. It started sprinkling as I was pitching. A bunch of hikers rolled up. Frico, Hillbilly, Archive, a European couple, Thomas and Michea, and another hiker. I think his name was Hush. He was with Hillbilly though. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 hikers all camped here at Lake Janus last night. I met Frico, Archive, Frico and Archive I met at Stevens Pass yesterday. So that was really cool to see them pull up. Anytime another hiker has the same idea as you, and a lot of us have the same idea because with just a little bit of thinking and planning and, far out research, you can figure out like, oh, well, this is what I need to do to get this hike done. And and a lot of hikers end up doing pulling the similar moves. It was a pretty warm night. I didn't sleep. I slept in all my layers and a pair of socks, with minus my rain jacket because it got a bit damp in the sprinkling last night. So I hung it off my trekking pole in my tent. But stayed dry. Sleeping bag was pretty dry this morning. And I saw Archetype leaving. Frico pitched next to me and I heard him pop his pad shortly before I left camp. So very wet Washington day today. I had a super strong cup of coffee and drank plenty of water, so I'm nice and caffeinated and well hydrated. And I think 25 miles today. That's what I'm thinking. So let's go. Oh, I see Archetype up there. There she is. Go Archetype. Archive. I don't know why I said Archetype. Well, today started with climbing. And, I've said before that I like starting my day with a climb because it's just like, what a way to wake up, If coffee didn't get to you, a nice cold plunge or a stout and sturdy uphill, well, that'll get your blood flowing. And this is no exception. I can see the sun. I'd like to shed some of my rain gear, but I'm too worried about that. And also, my toes are cold. My feet aren't super wet, but my toes are cold. And so I need to keep the rest of my body and my core temperature cooking to keep my toes warm and my phalanges. Do phalanges count for toes as well? I realized I totally missed Spicy Take Tuesday yesterday. Well, I think that's probably not something I'm going to worry about. However, to make up for it, I'm going to do Wacky Wednesday because it's Wednesday, my dudes. And I think a follower of mine, I don't remember your username, I'm sorry, but left a comment saying I should asking about what gear I maybe wish I had used instead of what I chose, or if I saw anyone or hiked with anyone that was using gear I'd wished that I'd had. And I think that's a great place to start. So what can I use that works with Wednesday? Why I choose this gear Wednesday? We'll call it just Wacky Wednesdays for now, or Wild Wednesday. No, we'll do Why Go Wednesday. Why go with that? And most importantly, to quote Pearl Jam, why go home? Why go home? Alexa, play Why Go by Pearl Jam. And of course, can't put Pearl Jam in the mix without giving a little background to why Eddie Vedder's a douche. Pearl Jam is the third in line of a great grunge legacy. So first of all, to know Pearl Jam, you gotta know Mother Love Bone. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket, to quote Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 1990 when TMNT came out. The live action TMNT with Elias Koteas as Casey Jones. Oh, it's a lovely little valley right there. A little creek. Anyways, Mother Love Bone was founded in Seattle in about 87, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellow audiophiles. And on the tails of like the 80s rock scene, they kind of spearheaded some of the grunge movement. Members were Stone Gossard, Jeff Ament. I don't recall the drummer's name from Pearl Jam, but at least 3 members of Pearl Jam were in Mother Love Bone, and they were just getting crazy acclaim, getting huge. Their singer, I don't remember his name, Adam, very famous voice, and totally charismatic frontman, the epitome of a rock and roll singer and frontman. And he developed a wicked heroin addiction that was peaking right as they were planning their first nationwide tour. His girlfriend or wife at the time approached Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament of the band, and we're like, hey, you gotta go check on him. You guys are so busy planning this nationwide tour, like, he's suffering and needs you guys. And they were like, oh, he'll be fine. We got a nationwide tour to focus on. Shortly after, he overdosed and died. And the band really didn't skip a beat. They went straight on to form Pearl Jam. The album 10 by Pearl Jam is comprised of most songs that were written that were supposed to be Mother Love Bone tracks. Well, as this is all happening, a young man by the name of Eddie Vedder, who lived in San Diego, California, not Seattle, was attending Stone Temple Pilot shows in California. He was a big fan, and he decided he was going to move up to Seattle. He did. Met Stone and Jeff from Mother Love Bone, and they recruited him as a singer for their new band, which they dubbed Pearl Jam. And shortly after, released 10, nary missing a beat after their original lead singer died. So, as far as I'm concerned, Eddie Vedder is a scab. I do like his voice though, and I love Pearl Jam. So why go Wednesdays? Why go Wednesdays? Why go with the gear I'm going with and went with? And why not go with other gear that I've seen other hikers using? And I think I'll start with my backpack. I went with the ULA Catalyst because I have broken both of my collarbones and I deal with chronic pain in my day-to-day from that. I really do not look forward to getting older and arthritis kicking in with those things, because I'm barely 35 years old and they already mess with my sleep. So I went with it because I knew that, you know, if I really wanted to be lightweight out here, I should try and keep the base weight low. But I also know myself well enough to know that I can't compromise on a couple of things. A few things. I'm a cold sleeper. I needed a warmer bag. I'm really hard on my gear, so I needed something durable, and thus went with my Feathered Friends quilt, which weighs 2 pounds. I knew I needed a lightweight shelter, but I knew I needed room in my shelter. So my shelter is what was the duplex, 20 ounces, and is now my tarp tent, 20 ounces. And my backpack, I knew I needed something comfortable. I knew I needed to be able to be under the pack straps all day with a light load or a heavy load and have comfort. And after doing research, I saw a lot of older backpackers who'd had shoulder surgery, rotator cuff surgery, and they all recommended the Catalyst for comfort and load carrying capabilities. It's 3 pounds. Oh wow, look at this. Whoa. Whoa. Gee. It's 3 pounds, which is gnarly. I'm basically carrying the same weight as many hikers who use the more bolstered Arc'teryx and Osprey packs out here with the elaborate suspension and overly designed padding and strap systems. I mean, that being said, I haven't met a single hiker using one that says they're not comfy. And so the Catalyst has a more heavy duty support system, more stays, more padding across the whole back, a larger capacity. Also didn't want to, I anticipated hectic, wearisome mornings where all I wanted to do, I knew all I'd want to do is just get out of camp, get hiking, not have to concern myself with too much pack organization. Oh. Ooh, that's nice. And so being able to just schlep everything into my pack and go deal with the organization later in the day was another want. And with the exception of my right pack, my right shoulder strap needing repair, it's done everything I needed to do and wanted it to do, and more, I'd say. However, and this is the big thing, is do I wish I had a different pack? Or would I maybe prefer a different pack? Or have I seen any fellow hikers using packs that I would maybe prefer to use instead of mine. And the answer is, I'd say yes. Once I was out here and was around enough hikers who were using the ULA circuit instead of a Catalyst, I realized, oh, the circuit only weighs 2 pounds, I think. I realized, oh gosh, I could have saved an entire pound by just going with the circuit instead of the Catalyst. And I think I would have had the same carrying capabilities and comfort as I have with the Catalyst. There have been times where I've carried really heavy loads that I think the Catalyst really pulled through on, and I question whether or not the circuit would have had the same comfort and carrying capabilities as the Catalyst. But as far as capacity, they're almost the same. And I definitely have seen a lot of people with lighter packs than mine. The Z-Packs backpacks, the Durston packs, the what's that one that starts with a P? Sounds like Palantir or Palantir. It's Palin. Oh, Jimmy has one. They're more ultralighty. And so there's plenty of lighter packs that I probably could have gone with. But, for instance, I tried a Hyperlight when I was getting ready for the trail, and those are light. I think a Hyperlight Windrider is half the weight of my Catalyst, but the Windrider hurt my shoulders and my back when I loaded it over 25 pounds. And for heavy carries and a couple times in the Sierras, I was getting on trail with almost a 40-pound pack. Heavy water carries. And so yeah. And also durability. I'm really hard on gear. I've said this before. And I knew that my pack was going to take the brunt of my gear abusing tendencies. And so it has, but barely. And I've spoken to some other hikers that are like, oh yeah, I use the Z-Packs Arc Haul. And they're like, oh gosh, you gotta baby them. You gotta pick them up by the haul strap. You gotta be careful where you set them. You don't drag them across rocks or rough ground. You can't, there's a carrying limit. And I like no limit. I'd like to be able to throw a handful of bricks in my pack if I needed to and not worry about, is this too heavy? So yeah, I'm happy I went with the Catalyst. If I did this again, I'd choose the ULA circuit. But gear envy, I mean, we're all guilty of it at some point, but I try to avoid gear envy as much as I can. I grew up with a lot of gear envy, and it's really easy to get if you, if you aren't, self-confident, and I value self-confidence, so I try to avoid gear envy, but it's fun sometimes, like seeing someone with, an ultralight one-person tent, knowing, dang, if I was using that tent, I'd probably drop a pound or more from my base weight, or, but then I wouldn't have room to function in the rain or to mill about in my tent and keep my sleeping quilt away from the walls and dry. So, there's that. And also, like talking about the packs, when you're going lighter, you're sacrificing durability. And sometimes I think we forget, it's easy to forget, like, hey, we're in the back country. We're doing something tough, and you know, you think you're going to be on a trail all day, but crossing rock fields, crossing rivers, slipping on boulders maybe, or climbing down through a down section of trail with a bunch of like blowdowns and stuff, you know, you might scrape your gear up a bit. And I think a level of durability is important for adventure. Haven't eaten anything. Might have to stick a bar in my gut soon here. Oh, the rain kind of let up. That's nice. Alexa, play Exploration of Space by Cosmic Gate. Look at this. Look at this. Is that just not bucolic as hell? Is that the word? Is that the word? The friggin' brush is soaked. I'm a drippy boy. I'm so grateful that I bought these Pertex waterproof mitts and these pants. Oh my goodness. If I was like in shorts and a rain skirt right now, dude, I'd be bumming. Also, like, even waterproof socks, yeah, they might be warmer, but in stuff like this, it's just like, ugh. If you can handle wearing less, wear the least amount you friggin' can. I'm in basically all of my clothes, even my fleece, which I told myself I would never really hike in, but it's okay. It's okay. I needed to stay warm, and well, I think I'll be fine for a few more days till I get to Stehekin. Oh look, that's a campsite. I'm gonna go over here and go pee in the bushes. This would be a lovely campsite. Wow. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, dude. Here's another Why Go Wednesday feature. My cell phone pouch. This is the standard cell phone pouch made by Trash Messenger Bags. I want to say they're out of Minneapolis. They make bags for bike messengers and cyclists. Sling bags, backpack style bags, hip pouches, cell phones, U-lock holsters. They make tons of stuff. I have a wallet. My wallet's made by them too. Amazing company. Check them out on Instagram at Trash Messenger Bags. They're intense. This does not weigh. It does not weigh what the lightweight cell pouches out here, like the C-Tug pouch I had for the majority of the trail. Nah, this one weighs a couple ounces, but it's denier on the outside and absolute waterproof. I can't remember what this stuff's called, but it's the same stuff that truck tarps are made of. So it's intensely waterproof. I could have my phone in a downpour in it. My phone will be dry. If I'm taking my phone in and out of it a lot, I can put my phone in a sandwich bag and it'll fit in there. I can even fit my phone in there with a power bank to charge it. It rests on it can attach to your belt or your shoulder strap. And in hindsight, I wish I would have just bought a new one. They're only like $60 as compared to $70, I think, for the C-Tug one. And although they don't have the nifty little stretchy pouch on the outside that the C-Tug has, which I used a lot in the desert, And I think in a dry climate, the C-Tug would be great, but the C-Tug cell pouch, I don't like the zipper ones because I'm afraid of a zipper breaking, and the fact that it zips over the top, it's going to be, I know I'd put a lot of stress on that. And also this one's more durable. I just wish I would have instead went one of these instead of the C-Tug, because in weather like this, the C-Tug, which isn't even made out of waterproof fabric, it's water resistant, but not waterproof, would not have done the job. So can't recommend this enough. Super happy with it. Why go with it? I told you there. Wow, check this out. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Look at this right here. That right there is bear poop. Big old pile of bear poop. Can't tell how fresh it is, but there is just a myriad, there's fields and fields of berries here. A plethora of berries here on this ridge. And just look at this. Fantastic. How glorious. How lovely. Hey bear, hey bear. Hey, 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 hey. Well, 8 miles into the day, started walking around 7:30, maybe 7:45. It's 11:30 right now, so moving kind of slow, 2 miles an hour average, not bad. Only planning on about 25 miles today, so that's fine. There's a junction right here. What do we have here? Top Lake Trail. Okay. Well, it's not on my itinerary. I have been pretty cold today. Toes are still pretty chilly, but I'm doing all right. Was finally able to take my shell mitts off, but still not bare knuckling it. But it's good. I passed a couple of guys, a couple of younger guys, look like they're in their early 20s, who were turning around. They made it 15 miles in, and they were turning around to go back to Stevens Pass and dry off and try again after this bad weather. They slept at a lake, and in the night they got so rained out that they woke up and were almost floating on their inflatable pads. So yeesh, their bags were totally soaked, and they stopped at a period of brief like dryness like this and thought they could dry their stuff out, but not happening for them. So they were gonna go all the way back 16 miles to Stevens Pass and dry their stuff out. Boy, I would hate to do that. Nice reminder to be very careful with where I'm gonna pitch tonight. It'd be nice if it cleared up a little bit. Doesn't even have to be clear all day. Just like an hour, hour and a half. I would love to dry some stuff out too. But if it doesn't happen, I am prepared to make it through another wet night and day. And that is backpacking in Washington State in the fall. You gotta be ready for it. Gear-wise and mentally. Because the mental game is what's gonna get you through the demoralization that is pitching a wet tent. Whoa, it's not a pretty sight. All right, 12:20, and wow, just about 10 miles in. And what a lovely rock field. You know, there's parts on the trail that are almost bookmarked, like entering section J, for instance, in the Kendall Catwalk. Well, this is almost more exciting to me than the Kendall Catwalk, because there's just all these outrageous views around here. The dramatic weather and this bitchin' trail right here, cutting through this massive boulder field, loaded with pikas and little birdies. Oh man. How cool is this? Oh man. Stellar, dude. I sure would love the sun to burn some of these clouds off. I want that. And you know what they say? Wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one gets full first. Don't say that, kids. That's very crass. Ooh, wow. Woo-wee. Just had a nice, brisk climb up some very steep, repetitive switchbacks. I think I'm hovering around 5,000 feet right now. And I took my rain pants off because I just needed my legs to breathe. And I'm really hoping that the trail will be not too overgrown that I can keep this trend going for a little while. Wow. Well, it's just after 2 p.m. and about 13 and a half miles into the day, with probably 9 or 10 more miles to go. And had to stop and throw the rain gear on again because another squall came through and started dumping. And that can be frustrating because, you know, you want more than anything to just have a break from the rain. But no, that's not the plan of the day for nature. Yeah. Back down again into the trees. Back down again into the trees. Next up on Why Go Wednesday, why go with rain pants? Because there's some hikers wear a rain skirt or a rain kilt, but it still looks like a skirt. If I see a guy wearing a kilt, like a Utila kilt or a plaid, kilt to honor your Scottish heritage or whatever reason a man would wear a kilt for, first off, that's gay. Nah, not really. But men wearing dresses, that's gay. Kilts, understandable. Kind of like wearing a tunic. Tunic, yeah, like in medieval times, Middle Ages. Yeah, guys would wear long shirts with a belt around their waist. And if you take that belt off, it would look somewhat like a nightgown, I'm sure. Or a dress. I went with rain pants because I wanted the insulation factor as well. Wanted to be able to cover both my legs. Maybe trap some heat inside if need be. So yeah, that's why I went with rain pants, because I've used rain kilts before, or even garbage bags as a rain kilt. And that's cool, but they just don't go low enough to help seal in warmth. And trash bags rip. And if you're walking through brush, say goodbye to that trash bag. What's next on Why Go Wednesdays? Why go without a bear canister or an earth sack? Because here in Washington, I carry neither. Only time I've carried bear-proof anything was during the Sierras, and I got rid of my bear can as soon as possible. Why go without bear-proof gear? Well, let me put it this way. I was thinking about this today, and I think the best analogy I can come up with is this. If I hang my food, I don't carry a pillow, and I don't have enough layers to use as a comfortable pillow. So what am I going to use for a pillow if I hang my food? And people might hear that and be like, oh gosh, you dumbass. Or, well, it's usually be responsible for the bears. Oh, the bears will be fine. The bears in Washington aren't like bears in the Sierra. They're a lot more wild and not down with being around humans. If a bear came into my home, if I lived in a home where there was bears in the region, and bears came into my home, a bear came into my home, I'm mag dumping on it. I'm icing that fool. The bear is gonna die. And all I can say is I hope I get to keep some of the meat, and the very least the skull, or maybe the claws. If I am out in bear country, if I'm in bear country, different precautions are gonna get taken. If it's hardcore like grizzly country or a situation like the Sierras, I'll carry a bear sack or a bear can, whatever. I'll probably hang my food. But if it's not really an issue and you're just out in the mountains where there could be bears, could be lions, could be whatever, and a bear comes up on my stuff in my camp and wants to get after my food, and I can't dispatch the bear with whatever means, I may use, then sucks to be me, I'm getting got by a bear. And that's my take on that. Otherwise, I think, if it's not through hiking where you have to be so much more weight conscious than just like a several day or a week or even a 2-week backpacking trip, I'd say probably take a bareback, hang your food. I'd say probably hang your food. All right. Quick little break to fill up my water bottle and eat 2 packs of tuna with some mayo and some sriracha. Shout out Monica. Bella for Moonshine. Thank you. Those are in your resupply. And made it 15.7 miles today. And shortly after 3 o'clock here, right now, in Section K, I am 27 miles north of Stevens Pass. Looked after checking the map, looks like there is about there's another campsite, a good-looking campsite that people in the comments are saying is not a mud puddle and doesn't turn into one. So, yeah, that's where I'm headed. And it's just over 5 miles away. So, yes. And that's going to be a 20-mile day. But that's okay. Because I have done practically nothing but climb today. And I'm very much so ready to be in camp. And be in my tent. And curl up in my sleeping quilt. And be warm and dry. So, 5.2 more miles. Call it a 20 and change day. And hope that the weather is not so shitty tomorrow. I really hope it's not. Southbound, northbound. Tell you what, I am not a really happy camper. Today has just been, weather-wise, pretty foul. I just warmed up because I just climbed a hill, and it's nice because climb a hill, warm up, and then get to the top and boom, full exposure. Thank goodness it's not windy that much. Every now and then there's a breeze. I wish it were windy enough to blow all these damn clouds out of here. Excuse me. It's pretty. Had a snack at that last water. I ate 2 packs of tuna, and that's, holding me over. My frustration right now is coming from 3 directions. Direction number 1, the frustration is, fuck this weather. I can't even get a chance to dry off. And as soon as the rain cools off for a bit, like right now, and I get lulled into a state of, comfortableness, where I'm like, oh gosh, maybe it'll cool, maybe it'll stop raining for a while. It starts raining again. Or I'm socked in a cloud And that makes everything around me just about as wet as the rain. The other frustration is it's 5 o'clock and the clouds just help it get darker so much sooner. And I haven't covered as much ground as I'd like to. The increase in elevation gain and loss does not make it feel like you're covering much ground. And having just had 2.5, almost 3 days off, my stamina dropped surprisingly. So I got to get that back up, but I imagine it'll be back up tomorrow. And last but not least, I need to dry stuff off. And this weather, God, that's beautiful, is just not allowing for that opportunity. So what I think I'm gonna end up doing is just hitting about 19 miles and camping near a lake that's coming up, finding a dry patch, getting a fire going, drying off what I can, and then just pitching wet. This is no hiking for old men. Well, it is. I'm trying to quote No Country for Old Men, the title. You gotta be a G to be killing it at this point in the trail in this kind of weather. But I just spoke to my mom on the phone. I caught a bar of LTE, called my mom and was like, yo, can you hit me with a weather report? And it looks like the weather is changing tomorrow for the better, with Friday and Saturday looking sunny and in the 60s. So if I can get a good stretch of weather, I can just bang out the rest of this trail with minimal chance of ending up in any more fucked weather like this has been today. I wish I would have sent my neoprene socks to Skycomish, but I sent them to Segan. That's okay, because I'll be picking up my fleece tights, my puffy, and my neoprene socks there. Hallelujah. All right. Made it to this lake. This is Lake Sally Ann. Let's go down to the shoreline and get some water. I was thinking about camping here, but I've warmed up since I last made that decision, which was about 3 miles ago, and the rain has let up. Now it's just moisture coming from low clouds. Oh gosh. Nice little cute little mountain pond. I don't know about a lake. I mean, I guess you could call it a lake. It's probably pretty deep. Maybe not. I don't know. I'd call it a pond. Maybe it's a lake. I think I'd probably swim here if it were warm out. Let me get some water. Check far out. All right. It's October 1st. It's Wednesday. And I'm in camp. I just had dinner. And it's cold and wet. And I was cold and wet all day.
Yeah, the rain just has not stopped. It hasn't let up. It hasn't stopped. I'm really, really hoping that it does in the morning. I just need to dry stuff out. I'm warm and dry in my quilt right now, and I'm going back under my quilt to finish my night out watching a movie on my phone. So